crazy, gentlemen. I am a booger.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce one of the funniest people that I watched on TV growing up in high school.
The President of the United States.
No, not even in the United States.
I know. I'm just kidding.
That'd be kind of crazy, right?
You're right.
Controlling a country outside of the country?
Hey, I give him props.
No, if anything, he might just be the president of the Goat House. Mr. Rob Ramsay.
Mr. Rob Ramsay.
Rob, thank you so much for joining us.
I like clapping.
Oh, we got Fairy Tale to my left also. Totally forgot to introduce you.
Yeah, I'm Fairy Tale.
Cody Ray's in the back, too. Cody Ray's been here.
Back from vacation.
Thanks
Hello.
for coming. About time. Your salary's been cut, but we'll pay you sometime now since you finally came back.
Yeah, we'll find something for you.
Rob, welcome to Boogered Up. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. This is a treat. Pleasure to let's get boogered, boys.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Travis,
Cheers.
give me a beer.
Oh, he goes, give me a damn beer.
I need a goddamn beer.
How do you not start with a beer? You got to start with a beer. What are you doing here?
I'm sorry. I feel privileged to just share a beer and a conversation over with my man, Donnie Rob Ramsay.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm rocking an IPA too. I'm drinking IPA too.
Where'd your koozie go? You don't know where your koozie went? It's
No.
up there. Get your damn koozie.
Because I got so excited.
He's already flabbergasted. That's what I told you about before we started recording. The fish, the memory. He moves something. He's like, where the hell is it at?
Literally, I'm like Nemo.
All right. So, Rob, can you please inform us on who you are and what you're doing, where you're from, all the above, because some people might not know who you are. Everybody that's listening knows, holy shit. Rob, Donnie, Blue Mountain State, awesome. But who are you truly?
I'm sure a lot of people don't know who I am. Yeah, my name is Rob Ramsay. I am an actor, producer, and writer. I think your audience probably knows me from Blue Mountain State, which was It. Yeah, I was in It Chapter 2 for a hot second. Got my throat slit, which was that was fun. But yeah, I been fortunate enough to be an actor for I guess 10 or 15 years, and lived in LA, currently live in Toronto, and yeah, that's a bit about me.
When did you move down to LA?
I moved there
how long
right
into
after
your career.
I probably a good 2 or 3 years. I started sort of professionally acting when I was in university. Got Blue Mountain State 3 or 4 years in, and then the show ended, and I decided to sort of pick up and move down there after that to sort of try and capitalize on the success of the show.
Oh, so this wasn't – you didn't move down there while Blue Mountain State was going on. You lived in Canada the whole time.
Yeah. Well, we shot the show in Canada, in Montreal. And,
that's dope.
Yeah, just outside of Montreal. So we so I got the role, and we shot it there, and then actually, I moved to LA, and I was living with Alan Richardson, who plays Thad, who's just like one of the greatest guys in the world. He's a very, very close friend of mine. And I told him I was thinking about moving to LA, and he was like, so where are you living? And I was like, I haven't really figured that out yet. I'll probably just, I don't know. There's websites where you can find like a couch to crash on. I'm going to go down for pilot season. And he was like, no, you're going to stay with me. So I ended up living with him for 3 or 4 months. And
nice.
I vividly remember waking up one morning and he was like, so they're in the office right now talking about renewing us for season 4 and 5 back to back. And I was like, oh shit, that's amazing. And then like 2 hours later, he was like, actually they just canceled the show. So that was, I remember finding out when I was down there that we got canceled. Yeah.
You were so happy for just a quick second.
I know. It's going to be so good.
Dude, I remember watching that show as oh my God. What year was the first season? What was it? It was
on Spike TV.
Yeah.
What year?
2009 or 2010 or something?
Yeah,
No,
I remember watching that on actual television. And mind you, I'm 24 years old. So I was 12, 13 around that time and such.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been an influence on my life, guys. The Goat House has definitely been an influence. Every actor in its sort of way. Oh my God. He got the riot part where he took over with the chips and the arm and the machine. Oh my god, that was one of the funniest parts to me. I don't know, that part stuck out so hard just in general, and I'm like, we're getting him.
I think till this
That episode
day,
was that episode was directed by Jay Chandrasekhar, who's he's in that Broken Lizard troupe, so you would know him from like Beer Fest and Super Troopers and all those movies. He's a stud.
Shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Beer Fest was one of my favorite movies growing up too. It kind of shows why we have a podcast like this. Now that I'm starting to put stuff together, this is really starting to add up here.
crazy. Yeah, I still smell my balls because of Harmon.
Oh my god.
It's a whole got it. Yep.
That's so funny.
That's how I tell which way the wind's blowing.
Oh my
James
god.
is awesome. I just saw James a couple months ago, just before Christmas. He's killer. I actually auditioned for the role of Harmon when I first auditioned for the show, and they later told me that I auditioned, and they were like, "All right, well, this guy isn't a kicker." But I guess they had been thinking about bringing on a lineman, so that's it all sort of worked out.
Oh, we got to pause. All right, we're good. It'll show up good on that, but sometimes it pauses on us, and we're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. All right.
Wouldn't that have been some Blue Mountain State, though, to have somebody like you just to go in as a kicker and just like, yeah, I'm the kicker?
It would have been really funny. Yeah, it would have been really funny if there.
Where are we at? What's going on here? Sammy's like, and I'm the mascot? I love it. Cody Ray, we have a whole agenda, jam-packed episode for you guys. I know you guys were fucking blowing up our fucking messages and everything else about having him on. So, Cody Ray, we assembled an agenda for this man. Please hit us with the itinerary. Cody Ray's just back there like, I'm trying to read.
Well, he pretty much already told us like where he kind of started at in his career. Do you got anything that you're working on now that you want to highlight for us?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I am fortunate enough to be a producer and host of a really cool show called Pub Crawl, which I think, unfortunately for probably most of your listeners, isn't available in the States. It's only available in Canada.
Available here?
I know. I don't even think so, man. It's a Bell original, which is a channel we have up here.
You got to hook us up with this. You got to hook us up.
You know what?
Be able to watch
I'm sure you can find it online, and if not, let me know, and I'll send you some links. But yeah, Bell.
We got the plug.
Pub Crawl's I'm from the East Coast of Canada, and a partner of mine, John Mann, and I were sort of sitting in a bar one day in Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is this it's one of the oldest and most historical cities in Canada. We were sitting there in a bar one day, and we were, I don't know, 10, 12 beers deep, and eyes were a little glossy, and we were staring up at the ceiling, and we were looking at all the old wood, and we were like, Jesus, how old do you think this place is? And we came to realize that this bar we were sitting in was like 200 years old, and that kind of blew us away, and we got to thinking that there are so many bars in the city of Halifax specifically that have this rich history that a lot of people take for granted. And so we sort of pitched a show and created the show where it's kind of a dream. Essentially, it's me drinking my way through the most historically significant bars and restaurants in the city of Halifax. So I to take a page from your book, I just kind of get boogered up and chat with some locals and chat with some historians. And I love history, but I hate like pretentious history or academic history or textbook history. I want to hear it from people who are living there, or I love hearing the old wives' tales and stuff like that. So it's like, let's just go drink some beers in a bar and hear some stories and learn about some stuff. So that's just the show, and we're going into our second season, which will be airing very, very shortly this month. So yeah.
So it's only in Canada.
I believe it is. Yeah,
we have some Canadian listeners, so these people that are listening are going to be pretty stoked. We have a good amount of crowd in Canada, so
all right, yeah, Bell 51, so it's available for all Bell listeners or viewers, subscribers.
Plug them in.
Hell yeah! One of my good buddies, Blaine, is a Canadian and a huge Titans fan, and we're going to go. He's going to come down. We're going to go to the Titans and Bengals game.
Nice.
'Cause it's over in Tennessee next year.
Oh
nice.
boy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But that's awesome, dude. So pub crawl, how did that pitch happen? You just went into because we're kind of clueless in a sense of how the TV and movie and that kind of realm goes. So having somebody that's been involved in this for 15 years or so, you said, pitching that to somebody, how do you go about that? Especially for a topic of saying, hey, I want to go in and talk about old bars.
Yeah.
So what you have now.
Yeah. It's the pitch process is all totally different. I wouldn't say there is really one straightforward way to do that. And my writing and producing partner, John Mann, is the one who actually did the pitching for this. But it can be different. Sometimes you fly to Toronto or you fly to Vancouver and you get in the executives' offices and you sit down and it's all stuffy and very formal and very uncomfortable, and you got to pitch them the idea of the show in about 5 minutes, or the idea of the movie or the arc of the series or whatnot. And they're often very straight-faced because they've probably heard 30 or 40 pitches a day. So you're bringing your A game, and I've definitely been in the room where I'm yucking it up a little too much. It's a little too much, and it's like, okay, so picture this. You're in space, and all of a sudden... but I think this one was really straightforward.
The sales of all sales. Just listen here. We've got it here.
But wait, there's more.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, this one was pretty straightforward, though. This one was I think it was all like a virtual digital pitch. So it was just writing a Bible for the series, which is just a like really in-depth sort of book on what the series is going to be, what each episode's going to be, who's going to shoot it and stuff like that. And you just sort of sent it to the network, and they were, I think they were just kind of taken aback by the, I guess, originality of it. Cause I think there's been a lot of shows, there's a lot of shows on History Channel, for example, that are, the food that made America, or the restaurants that made America, or whatever it is. But this one was kind of a lot less formal. So I think they like that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's something where you see it and you read it and you're, envisioning this and you're like, this isn't something that everybody will see and be like, oh, it's just another one of these shows. Right. It's kind of like, you kind of feel like you're with them in a sense. You kind of feel like it's more relaxed, more, let's go to this pub and find out while you're drinking this beer, oh, this is awesome. Or you're going to this just random bar in the corner. It's like, oh, this bar's been here for 400, 500 years and it's still standing and doing great. Totally.
Yeah. That was really important to us, and kudos to, like I said, John Mann, the creator of this and director, and Jack Leahy, our director of photography and everything. It looks beautiful, but we really wanted it to feel like we were going to a bar with a bunch of buddies and just getting goobered and buckled and learning about some things, and someone was just there with a camera and filming us,
And you feel like that whole group wouldn't be able to take it in and leave and know that knowledge. I like that.
Yeah.
You go in and you get trashed, and there's that one old feller at the bar. It's like, do you know that this bar back in 1903, I was at that stool drinking its first beer.
Totally. And we
that.
We definitely did have some stories like that. Like one of my favorite places we went to was a bar called the Ale House, which way back in the day, actually, I think the Salvation Army used to own, and it used to be a place where soldiers would go dry out. Like alcoholic soldiers would go dry out. And now it's a bar serving booze, which is, the irony is hilarious.
That's sick.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So, you're from Canada. Do you fuck with, like, the show Letterkenny, Trailer Park Boys? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Yeah. I like to... I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of opportunities to audition for a lot of projects, and sometimes you audition for the same show over and over and over again, and sometimes it'll take 7 auditions to get a part, and sometimes you still won't get it after 7. Letterkenny is one of those shows where I've auditioned for it like 5 or 6 times, and unfortunately never gotten a part, but I'm a huge fan of that show. I'm a huge fan of the original YouTube videos that it all started from. Those were really cool too.
Right.
Really
I
funny.
never knew that was a thing.
I was saying, I love Letterkenny. That show's so funny.
Yeah, and I think we all have some family members that were like, oh yeah, that's so and so in my family,
Yeah.
who has
100%.
that. Yeah. And Trailer Park Boys is one of my favorite. Trailer Park Boys is set in Nova Scotia, which is where we shoot Pub Crawl. Fuck, that show's funny. I've been a fan of that show since, I guess that's my Blue Mountain State that's my Blue Mountain State, Travis. I've been a fan of that show since I was like 15. So,
Hell yeah.
Ricky, Jim Leahy, R.I.P. Leahy. Oh man, they make
the liquor's calling the shots now, Randy. The liquor's calling the shots now.
Oh. He broke in and out real hard for us. I'm not too sure what he said there.
Oh yeah, he might.
There you go. His connection's back. What did you say? We want to laugh at it.
I said the liquor's calling the shots now, Randy. The liquor's calling the shots now.
It's the shit wins. It's the shit wins, Randy.
Do you have any like American shows? Like we watched Blue Mountain State and Trailer Park Boys. Did you watch any shows that were like based in America?
I don't know that it really works the other way around. It's like, I think it's more unique for you guys to be like, oh yeah, I've heard of this Canadian show, but everything in America, we like, there's a really cool policy here in Canada where I think it's something like 20% of everything we see on TV has to be Canadian made to support the arts and everything like that. But the other 80% is American or international. So it's not, I don't think it works the same way around because like I've seen everything you guys have seen. I think it's probably more unique the opposite way of like, I know this Canadian show.
Okay.
I got two questions real quick. First things first. Are Canadians really nice? I've never been to Canada. Are they actually nice people that just like they don't fight, or is it actually just a normal fucking place?
Well, I'm
tired of the stereotype of hearing that Canadians like go into a fight and they're just like I don't even want to impersonate a Canadian, but it's just like everybody just gets into a tussle and it's like, oh, it's okay, you're all right, and then that's it.
I think he's only asking this because in South Park how they portray Canadians being so nice.
No, from a lot of other places. It just makes us feel like, okay, there's one song that my wife sings all the time. It's like literally they just talk about Canadian. Like, oh my God, if I can remember the damn name of it. It's like it just kept saying A in the fucking in the chorus of it, and there's like we're getting to a tussle, and I'm like, what in the hell is happening here? It was like it just sounded like really PG, and I'm like, is Canadian people really PG like that, where it's like all calm down, or you guys really scrap like Canadians?
I would say it's just another place. I don't know. I do think that there is a cultural difference in that there is, oh geez, I don't want to get into politics or anything, but I think there's something to be said for like a two-party system in the States. And so it's this way or it's that way. And in Canada, we have, 4 or 5 parties, which is symbolic of the culture here, where it's like, there's room for lots of different opinions and lots of different viewpoints. So there definitely is that system and that sort of spirit in our society. But for the most part, I think that stereotype is exaggerated, and it's just, it's just like any other place.
So you're saying that you could take on Nick, you could beat his ass.
Hey,
I'm just looking at him through a computer screen. I don't know how tall he is, how often he's in the gym. I don't know.
We've seen you on a TV. You were pretty bigger than some of those guys. You were up against Thad, Kevin, Allen, and he was pretty big. And you were bigger. You were there. So this guy, you probably break him over your knee.
Probably.
I don't know. I've lost a fair amount of weight since that show, but
I've been able to tell with your facial. I wanted to mention that you've grown as a person from that role, and with that role, I wanted to throw in there. You were talking about how you watched Trailer Park Boys growing up. Did you have any influences in the role of Donnie? Was Donnie just yourself, just letting loose at that age, or was Donnie something that you took from extra people and you pitched apart, and you're like, this is that guy?
It's a great question. He's kind of a culmination of a lot of people I know, but for the most part, I think that show cast a lot of people really well. In that, I think there's little bits of everyone's character in the actual actor, and then it's just hyper exaggerated. Like the whole show is hyper exaggerated. But I mean, that's definitely. I think the whole Donnie's laugh thing came about because we were just out getting getting buckled one night in Montreal, and someone had me laughing really hard, and I started giggling like that naturally, and so they wrote that into the show. And I think there's tons of scenes where there's a couple of episodes where I'm crushing a lot of beers, and I don't want to call it a skill, but I have been known to knock back quite a few beers in a night. So I think they sort of picked up on that. So I would just say there's a lot of me in there that's hyper exaggerated, and then there's some influences from some really funny people I've known.
Awesome. Was the beer on the show real?
It was all non-alcoholic, so it tastes like watered down beer. It's brutal.
Oh,
Damn.
it's pretty
Never
sad.
got to slide in an episode where you guys are drinking actual beer.
No, there was a lot of times where we'd call cut and everyone would hang in the parking lot in our trailers all night drinking beers, but there was never, never slid that in. And all the drugs were brutal too. Like there was a couple of scenes where we were doing cocaine, and the cocaine is just calcium powder. So
Thad with the mountain on the thing with him being drafted, he just hit his head into that?
Yeah.
Oh,
and often the studio will get really hot, or we were shooting in Montreal where it would be like just crazy fucking hot out. So you're sweating already, and then you got to do a line of calcium powder, and then it just turns into like boogery milk and mixes with your sweat, and it's brutal.
Oh boy. Oh boy!
Jesus
Christ. My man, Rob, a trooper.
There was a whole segment where Thad literally was addicted to cocaine. So that meant that Thad is just going down on this stuff.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that day too.
Christ. Alan's probably not okay still.
Cody Ray, let's keep following this agenda. I like what we got rolling. But I can ask.
He lost his phone. He goes,
he did,
where
but
the
it's
hell
okay.
did
I
my phone go?
I can ask a side question. Rob, I love you, bro. I get like a headshot sent to me? I want to display it.
Can we get a fat head of you? Put it on the wall.
I don't even know if I have one, man. I don't even know if I have one anymore.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking of like headshots from like you would turn into a modeling agency. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think the days of physical headshots are done. I don't know that.
Don't dismiss yourself. You're a beautiful soul.
I appreciate that, but it's all digital. It's all digital now.
Yeah.
Is it off the computer? So if I see you in person, I'll be like, "Oh, geez, what the hell happened to you?"
Oh man, Cody Ray, what you got for us, my guy?
That pretty much wraps up the first few topics. I just got a couple cracking questions for you, Rob.
Okay.
Frankie asked, what is some of the best memories you've had on set? You could just like list one or two if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on this, but like the times where we would wrap early or even wrap late, and it was like a Friday night, and we'd all just sort of hang around in the parking lot shooting the shit. Those were great. Basically all the stuff that's happened offset. Like none of us were from Montreal where we were shooting it, so we were all sort of staying in there, and we were all in one hotel. So on the weekends, we'd all hang out and do things, and we'd all go for dinner, and we'd all go for drinks, and so there's a lot of foggy nights, a lot of foggy weekends that I fondly remember or don't remember.
Besides yourself in that question right there, you're talking about foggy nights. You said your reputation of putting them down. Who else on the set was able to just absolutely put them down with you? Who almost could go toe to toe, or were you the king of it all? Was there somebody that could put them down better than you?
Romansky can dance with the best of them. Sammy from the show. Yeah.
Yes, absolute stud.
Dog.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's top tier, bro. That dude.
I genuinely think he's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. Like he's one of those rare people that you come across and you're like, there's sometimes where I found myself laughing so hard at him, and then I would sort of stop laughing and I would just stare and be in awe, and I'd be like, I think this is one of the funniest people on the face of the planet. I don't know anyone else who does what he does.
I love
that, dude. Oh,
he's got some really killer. And honestly, like I knew some of your work. Like I've seen your social medias. I've seen Pub Crawl. Clearly, I wasn't able to see it. I tried to look. Even before all of this, I tried to keep up with everybody after Blue Mountain State. And I really never saw anything that Sammy was doing, and then I looked into him after you got the confirmation. I saw, is he directing? Is that what he's doing? What is like, what the hell?
Well, he created the show. He was one of the creators of the show. Him and Eric Falconer.
Shut
was
up. What?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys didn't know that? Yeah, man. That was his, it's his baby.
I want you to know that we were still like just becoming teenagers and like just getting our licenses as you guys were like influencing our high school life.
Listen,
we weren't looking for who was directing. We were just like, party at the goat house.
We were literally like, we have to have our own goat parties, dude. Like,
nice.
It was crazy.
Dude, yeah,
nice.
yeah. But
so he created that show with his partner, his writing and producer partner Eric Falconer, and I know they went on to do a lot of really cool things. They became a writing team with How I Met Your Mother, and they've done a lot of. I recently worked with Eric Falconer on this really cool animated show, and yeah, man, they're always working. Those guys are hustlers.
I love it.
Is what else you got? Is there another one? You said a couple here.
Yeah, there's one more. You kind of answered it already. Did Blue Mountain State start your acting career, and did you think it would take off the way that it did once you got on there?
Definitely didn't start my acting career, but it's probably still the biggest thing I've ever done. I'd been fortunate enough to do.
You were in
sounds
It,
douchey.
For Christ's sake, as well, though.
Yeah,
Don't
that
dismiss
was
that.
That was after though.
Well, I'm just saying. It was like you were on It Chapter 2. That's pretty big. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That was fun. That was a fun one. That was really cool too. I had to get a whole prosthetic neck, so I was in the makeup chair for like a few hours, and there's tubes in the prosthetics, and they go down around my back, and so when you see the blood coming out from my neck, there's someone like crouched behind me with a syringe,
Just punching. Yeah.
pumping this blood stuff that comes out, and we had to. Yeah, that was a blast. But I've weirdly done a lot of Disney stuff. Disney and Nickelodeon stuff, so I did a lot of Disney.
Okay.
Did 3 or 4, or maybe 4 or 5 Disney shows before Blue Mountain State, but then, yeah, BMS was a whole thing. I definitely didn't expect it to take off the way it did. As you guys mentioned, it was on Spike TV back in the day, which Spike TV is no longer around. I think Spike TV became Paramount, the Paramount channel, which is what that show Yellowstone is on now.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so literally it was on, they were negotiating to do season 4 and 5. You know, we were going to shoot them back to back or simultaneously, at like noon. And then at 3:00 they canceled the show. But then I can't remember if it was a little bit before then, or I think it was like a week later, this thing called Netflix started, and Netflix bought Blue Mountain State. And it just blew up. It blew up once it hit Netflix. I just think it reached a whole different audience, a wider audience, and
Trust me, there
was
was a
crazy.
greater portion of the percentage of watches from my house with all of my friends. Trust me.
Nice.
That's where I was.
Nice.
Everybody could quote movies. There was times in TV show in the actual episodes we could quote it for like 5 or 6 minutes. We were just quoting it. We watched that shit so much it was ridiculous.
Nice.
Like, as soon as it hit Netflix, we were just like, thank God.
Well, it was crazy to really like. Well, first of all, it's not like it means more money in my pocket, but it was really cool to just like sit back and watch it blow up. Like I genuinely think the show is a bit of a phenomenon. Like I recently had a kid, so I'm not doing a lot of traveling right now. But before, I used to.
Heck yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Daddy Rob here.
Daddy Rob.
How old?
He's about 15 months.
Okay.
That's when you know
So it's just,
crazy. He's still counting the months.
A year and 3 months.
Yeah, I know. I fucking hate that too. I hate when people talk in months.
A year and 3 months, but I meant a year and 2 months. My fault. I was close.
All good.
But, so
he goes a year and 3 months.
So I see a lot of shows doing like the comebacks, like like iCarly, how they remade that kind of like. Is Blue Mountain State possibly like making like a comeback Where Are They Now episode? You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, hey, Arthur,
I don't know, man. I don't know, because I think so much of the humor came from the guys being in college and living that college life.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
It's one of those. Yeah.
I don't
definitely- it's one of
know.
those
None
things
of us
you
could
can't
pull off college athletes anymore. Like we couldn't. That wouldn't make sense anymore.
I don't even
Right.
think it's necessarily that. I think it's one of those things. Is like I'm a big WWE fan, and like to see people from WWE that are retired come back out and like their like brilliance and everything is getting tested again, and then you go in as a TV show with which it hit decently. I'm assuming for Spike, but then as soon as it went on to Netflix, it fucking exploded. Then you had the rise of Thadland and everything. Where like I don't know how that went number wise, but I know that everybody was really looking forward to on that. If you went on for a season 4 or 5, you got to hit a home run. Because if you don't hit a home run, all the fans are going to be extremely disappointed. They're like, why did you continue this when the first 3 seasons were honestly perfect?
Right. I guess
Yeah.
I can see that.
I certainly wouldn't. I certainly would. I'd certainly be open to the idea, but like I said, I just don't know how you get around unless you're bringing in a whole new cast. I don't know how you get around. The guys still can't be in college, so I don't know how you get past that.
I got you. I got you right here. Hey, I got you right here. Hear me out. You guys are the coaches, and you're training in the new guys, the new recruits coming in.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Offensive line coach right there. Look at
I
him.
like that. Sweet. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Just don't get injured in the playoff game and get super high.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you pitch it. Go pitch it to Netflix.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
I'll write an email.
You help us out. We'll walk right in there. We'll do the dad stance and all. We'll be like, listen, God damn it, this crew needs to be coaches. All right?
need it.
Dad needs to be defensive. Harmon, goddamn, needs to be on defensive. Alex needs to, and you know what? Sammy can teach the mascot.
Fuck yes, dude. Sam.
Everybody needs to come back together and do it to it. All right.
Mary Jo's the cheerleading coach.
Mary Jo needs to be the cheerleading coach.
I love it. But I love it. You
Let's
guys
get cracking. All right. I got to rock a piss.
Yep, we're gonna take a pee-pee.
But we'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
And we're back. Usually we're at the first pour segment, but we're going to go on a different route this today because we're doing a little international thing. We don't know if we'll have the same beers. We're just going to do a cheers. We're going to cheers the Goat House.
Shout
We're
out
gonna
the Go House.
Cheers
everyone being able to come in and record today. We're going to cheers everyone being healthy and happy.
I like
and we're going
that.
to cheers our man Rob for joining us.
Oh, appreciate man.
All right, slap the table.
Cheers, fellas.
Down.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
You killed that cheers there, that toast there, Cody Ray. I gotta have you fucking speak at my
Hell
wedding
yeah.
or something. You killed that.
Wait, what?
I practice
He
at
said,
home.
wait, what? He said, I looked in
Dude,
the mirror and practiced.
What are the
that."
odds when you get fucking married that you have him ordained and he is talking?
I would totally let Cody Ray ordain my wedding. This man
Honestly,
is the voice
side
of
note,
an
what
angel.
if Rob comes to America
don't-
and he's the ordained? He gets you.
Dog.
You just have to take a course on it or something, don't you?
You literally
have
just
to
go
get
on.
I'm
Online.
ordained. I'm already ordained in the States, boys. I can,
Look at
I
that.
can
He's
do
already
this.
set.
shit.
He got that shit ready
How
so that
much
he
to
can
book a
marry
wedding?
Fairy Tale.
How much to book a wedding? Because then it's an open bar. It will be open bar. We can
Tell
go.
Rob that. He'll tear the place
Universal
down, it
Life
sounds
Church
like.
for the win.
Oh, we
What'd
go
you say?
crazy.
Universal Life Church, officially ordained.
Oh, shout out the Universal Life Church.
I hope it's not like some cult. I don't know. I just did it online a few years ago for a friend. But yeah,
How was that?
I love
Was that
it.
fun?
I've been fortunate enough to be the MC and I guess the officiant at a few weddings. Yeah, it's a blast. I love doing that stuff.
Hell
That's
yeah.
so
That's
sweet.
what's up. What else is on the agenda? As soon as this agenda rolls, the boys have a couple fucking questions.
Just because it's the boys.
We're on to the Skunked Beer segment. For those of you that don't know what Skunked Beer is when your beer is tampered by ultraviolet lights, makes it taste skunky, kind of bad. So the topics that we're going to bring up can either be skunked, leave a bad taste in your mouth, or honestly really good.
It's been a while since we've heard that.
I know.
It's really nice
you
to hear
killed
that.
Cody Ray.
Hell
Jeez,
yeah.
I love it.
Cody Ray went on a hiatus for a bit. He lost his salary in the podcast. Now he's back and he's working it up. He killed it.
I think he just earned it back with that.
A little bit. We'll give him about 25%.
All right.
The pandemic hit us all hard, you know. I feel you, buddy.
I'm
Oh,
still
yeah.
recovering. All right, first topic, and you can decide if it's skunked beer or not. oil changes. And no, we're not talking about on your Ford Fiesta. We're talking about on your... Yes.
Oh, heavens.
And did it hurt? Or does it hurt?
I don't know. Okay, so I guess to clarify,
Somebody should explain what
can
it
you?
is.
Yeah.
An oil change is when you take clean pee and put it in the tube and put it up to your thing. Is that a real thing?
You almost got a lot of guys in trouble by trying to change their piss. I'm sure you actually have. I'm sure there's guys that have actually tried to do that. They're like, you know what? BMS told me one time if I just stick a syringe up there, that I'm just fucking.
That man Thad took it like a champ.
We did a lot of crazy shit on the show, but I kudos to the guys. There was always a nugget of truth in everything. Like it was always something that they were like, I've heard this story, or I've heard that this actually happens. So I gotta believe that it might have been a thing. Maybe not for a lot of people, but It might have been something that some people were doing. And yeah, you take a tube, you put it up your urethra, and you get a syringe full of clean piss, and then you inject it in the tube, and the idea is that goes into your bladder. So then when you have to go pee in front of the NCAA drug inspector, they look at they watch you pee, but you're peeing clean piss.
Who was it?
It's a big, it's a skunky beer for me.
Yep.
I don't know about you boys.
Was it
me.
Alex with the BMS penis that came out? Who was it? Oh God, who was it with the themed BMS penis?
Oh my goodness, with the dildos,
Yes, they had the BMS with the confetti.
Right? Yeah. I don't remember who that was.
Randon, it was running back. What's his name? God bless America. Having a mind blank.
Radon?
No, that was a quarterback. Who was the running back? African American.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm blanking on his name. Sam Jones is the actor's name. I'm forgetting his character's name.
What is his cast name? What is the
Sam Jones?
Because his girlfriend was fucking insane.
Oh, like dry humping him and
made him
Craig
try.
Shiloh.
What was his name?
Craig Shiloh.
Shiloh!
Yeah, Shiloh
Holy
came in with
Shiloh.
the fake penis because he didn't want the oil change.
Dude, I tried that.
Wait, what?
Not the oil change, but the fake penis.
I was like, what?
fake penis
What
thing?
just happened?
I tried that one time when I was on probation, and let me tell you, that guy must have seen enough of them that were real that he knew that mine was fake.
I love it. You came out with a fucking plastic ass dick. We're just like, this is me.
It was like a jock strap, and you fill it. There's like a little bladder in there, and you fill it with fake piss, and like it keeps it warm because it's right up against your body, and then you just gotta like
Release
flip the
valve.
toggle switch and like squeeze it, and then it'll run out.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Rob
skunk.
goes,
That's still skunked
wow.
for me.
Haven't heard that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely skunked. I'm
Yeah.
not shoving nothing up there. I got clean pee. I'm good.
Cody Ray, that not skunked for you?
Oh, that's definitely skunked because it didn't work for me anyways. I didn't even do the full oil change. I just tried a fake one.
He said, I just tried
That's
to change the
so
tire.
funny.
No.
That's so funny.
Okay.
What else we got on
what else we
Skunked
got?
Beers?
Mary Jo, and how beautiful was her soul?
I love how he reads. He just goes, Mary Jo.
He
And,
like with long
I was
pauses.
trying to word it differently, but I just didn't know how to word it.
He's like, I was just trying to
Dude,
read
how
this.
was having Mary Jo? Because that woman character, like, besides all of these guys, like, there was no really other dominant. Actually, I don't think there was besides Coach's wife, I'd assume, or I don't know her name, mother that you got blowy from, and they made the sex tape. She just passed away.
Cloris Leachman.
Yes.
Cloris Leachman. Cloris Leachman was, I believe, she is an EGOT, which means she's won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. She was insane, man. That's literal Hollywood royalty that I got to have a sex scene with. That was mind blowing.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we had a lot of awesome, awesome female characters filter through the show. Frankie was awesome. Frankie is extremely talented. She went on to create I think she was nominated for an Emmy. She created a show called Smilf that was on Showtime.
Oh, that's a good
But
show.
she was
You
a
watched that?
trooper. She's
Cody Ray has seen
Sorry?
that before. Cody Ray has seen that actually before.
it's a great show. Yeah, it was awesome. She was really, really funny, and she's really, really talented, and just kind of was like one of the guys. You know, it was great.
Awesome. Yeah. I've always wondered that. You see the guys all together, and I don't know how it is where like you can shoot TV and you're there for like 6 months at one time or whatever else, and you can't go home or whatever the situation is. I don't know how this is, if it's like the Thunderdome or whatever for NBA where you can't go home and you got to shoot, or do you guys leave on the weekends or whatever it is? Or you're just sitting there and you're just like Mary Jo is just doing all this stuff, and you go home and you're like, oh my God, I miss my wife so much.
Yeah, it's different for all the characters. I mean, I think all the main guys were definitely there the whole time because they'd be shooting on Friday and they'd be shooting on Monday, so it doesn't make sense for them to fly back to LA on the weekend,
Right.
Unless there's some sort of specific situation. A lot of the people had their families come up and live with them in Montreal for the whole time, and then I guess sort of the like second level guys like myself. It would just depend on the shooting schedule. So sometimes we were there for a month, 2 months straight, and then sometimes they'd have us there for a day, fly us home for a few days, and then back for a day. It all depended. But for the most part, we were there for the long haul, especially in the last season. We were all kind of in every episode. So yeah.
Did you know that was going to be the last season, or did you just expect it to go on?
No, man, we thought that was going to go. I did not. I'm super, super happy that it ended the way it did. I think a lot of shows don't get that kind of epic ending,
Right.
And we definitely did. But I know I had heard a lot of ideas the guys had for what we would do in the upcoming season. So I know there was
you spit
definitely
a
some great ideas.
You able to leak?
Can't share them. Can't
He
never
said
know.
no.
You
He
just
said-
never know.
He said, "Get out of here."
He said, "You never know. You never know." I have a question, actually, real quick. I want to throw it out there because you were talking about how there was some shit going on with the oil change. Sometimes you guys went to the extremes. Was there ever a time on Blue Mountain State where you were kind of like, we might be pushing the barriers a little bit too much here, or there might be a little bit that's like, oh wow, like this is getting like a little bit crazy here?
I think Blue Mountain State is a show that we couldn't make Blue Mountain State today.
No,
I think
God, no.
I think a lot of the stuff that we did and that was said was we sort of got away with it because maybe we weren't all as wise as we are now or aware as we are now. But there was a few times where it was like, oh, for real? That's kind of crazy that we're doing this. But I think one of the things that made the show so original and unique is its refusal to apologize. Like, yeah, we did some crazy shit, but we leaned into it and we really went with the crazy. And I think a lot of the shows will do some kind of wacky stuff and some crazy stuff, but then in the last 5 minutes, there's always that like, and this is the lesson we learned, and there's a bow put on it, and it's like, oh, okay, well, wasn't that sweet?
Right.
And Blue Mountain State was the kind of show where it would like spit in your face,
Yep.
and not apologize for it. In the last 5 minutes, they kind of doubled down. So I think there's something to be said for that originality, but there was definitely some times where it was like, I think it goes without saying, it's undeniable that it was a fairly misogynistic show. So there's definitely some things
that's
that,
about fair.
yeah.
I mean, if you go from the very beginning of it, where Thad was yelling at, was it Sammy for the cookie? Well, God, what was that called? Where they put the cookie inside the jockstrap and the butt cheeks.
Oh, that was
Cookie
like,
race. Yeah.
Yeah, or at the very beginning of it, he was just yelling at him, saying some wild stuff. And like, you look back, I was looking back at it. I watched a couple episodes, and I was just like that, just that one. He just yells back, looking at him, like saying some homophobic stuff. To like, oh, today it would be like, oh my God, but it's like just yelling at him. It's like, it's not gay, and it was like, what the hell? They're like you,
Dog,
that is just
whole
denying. Like, I was like, just that little bit of problematic stuff that isn't super problematic, but like could be turned into something today was perfect for the
Sure.
time that it was in. I mean,
Yeah.
you're looking at Spike.
But I do think we saw the show. There was definitely some. We saw the show evolve as it went on. Like Donnie in the movie comes out as gay, and there's one of my favorite storylines of the show is just that he comes out as gay, and everyone's like, "Yeah, of course, we knew the whole time.
fucking
It's
love
no
it.
big deal."
That was one of the next
love that
questions I was
approach
going to
to it,
have.
yeah.
That was one of the questions I was going to have. Was like, how was it preparing for that role to where you were just like randomly in the movie? Because I want to talk about the movie as well. But just talking about like you just get into this skate, you're about to do the movie, all this and that, and then they hit you with, oh yeah, Donnie's going to come out as gay. Like,
That's
how did
awesome.
that
I love that.
How did that whole thing come about? Where you were just like, fucking A, all right, let's do it. What happened? Did they just hand it to you? Or was like a little character turn that made you have more of a like impact in the movie randomly? That was just like, oh shit.
That's the gist of it, man. Yeah, I just showed up one day and they were like, "We thought of this really cool storyline. Your character is going to come out as gay," and I was like, "Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's really original."
That's so
I remember reading, how we were going to approach it and how it was going to be handled, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." I just loved that it was like everyone on the show was like, "Yeah, okay, so no big deal."
Right.
It was cool to see that because somebody from a small town where like sometimes change and like other different stuff like that isn't so tolerated and everything. When you have something where a movie like that where like all these dudes that are on a football team, all these jocks, so you're just kind of like you would imagine that the like stereotype of this wouldn't accept X, Y, and Z. For somebody like yourself to come out and just be like, "Hey, I'm gay," and everybody just be like, "Yeah, duh, we don't have a problem with it." It was just one of those things where it's like I saw that and I was like, "That's fucking cool." I was like, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the acceptance. I love the still the brotherhood regardless of the differentials.
Right.
Yeah, it was cool to be a part of that.
I think one of my favorite fucking things is when y'all stole Thad's pocket pussy and got syphilis. That
Has to be a fan favorite. Yeah.
Oh, I was just
How
like, geez.
how was that episode? How was
I think that was
how
like
was
my.
that?
That was my. So my first episode. I think that might have actually been my first episode. And there was a line. There was a line in there where I say something along the lines of like, "He's right, Thad. It's not fair to single him out." And no, sorry, that wasn't my first episode. But one of my first days on Blue Mountain State, one of my few lines was something along the lines of, "He's right, Thad. It's not fair to single him out." And I remember we were shooting with this big wig director, and I said my line, and I just heard cut, and he came over to me and he was like, "Okay, well let's just try that again." And I did it again. "He's right, Thad. It's not fair to single him out." And he was like, "Cut, Rob, what are you saying?" And I was like, "That's the line." And he's like, "You're saying it's not fair to single him out. Like, lose the Canadian." And I was like, "Oh shit, what are you talking about?" I didn't even realize I was doing it. And I swear to God, we did that like 10 times. And it got to the point where everyone was laughing at me because I had to like concentrate so much. And if you go back and watch that episode, you can see me do like, "He's right, Thad. It's not fair to single him out." And I like really over enunciate it because I was panicking because like, they say like every minute on a set costs a shitload of money.
Right.
And we did like 12 takes because they wanted this to be very American. Anyways, I thought I was fired from the show. And then I got the call to be in this other episode, Pocket Pussy, and I was, a big part of that episode. So that episode holds a special place in my heart too, because like I thought I had just gotten fired off of the show because I couldn't lose my Canadian accent. And
Right.
They brought me back for that one.
So happened you got a call about, "Hey, we're gonna shoot an episode and it's basically all about Thad's pocket pussy. You ready?"
Yeah.
But you get
I couldn't have been
syphilis.
happier.
How about the episode, which is one of the best ones for you, that in my opinion, of the heat stroke, where they're doing the camp, where they're shooting that, and they have the ice tubes that they're sticking up the bum.
Yeah. That one was a blast too. It was really hot the actual day we were shooting that, and we're all in like football equipment and everything. But that one, that was, you were asking me earlier, did I know the show was going to be as big as it was? I remember shooting that scene, thinking, "Oh, this is going to be one of the funniest scenes in the show like ever." I just thought that was so fucking funny, ramming the ice rod up Harmon's ass.
And then as soon as Harmon, because King of Drugs just goes, that was the best high I've ever had in my whole life. And then pushing it to the rest, and of course you're gullible in the show, and you're just like, all right, well, I'm a big lineman, I'm going to pass out, and it happens. You're just like, I need this more. And then the treadmill scene and everything, or the bicycle scene and all that was... The goat house part, that was so funny to me. Yeah. I was like, this is hilarious how you both were just so hooked on this. And then the one dickhead coach with both the tubes, and you both said something like lucky man or something like that. Just the one-liner after that was so funny.
Nice. I'm glad you liked it, man.
Oh, it was great. What
you got, Cody Ray?
Yeah, what else is on the agenda right now?
We're down to some more cracking questions. Cody asks, what's your favorite bar you've been to on the pub crawl? And he also says that he loves you.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Cody. Yeah, so many great ones. We do 6 bars per episode, per season.
Holy shit, for episodes.
6 episodes. Yeah, no, I wish.
Fuck?
So yeah, with season 2, we'll have done 12 bars. So there's lots of awesome places. I think, there's one you're going to see in this episode that is, it's like an old school blues bar, and there is nothing fancy to it, and there's nothing, nothing special on the walls. It is a historical building. It's just one of those places that, like, when you walk into, it just feels like home. It's a very cool bar called Barely's in Halifax. So that's probably one of my favorites. And then there's a great place called Lower Deck, which is like if you're going to go to Halifax, you have to go to Lower Deck. It's right on the water. It's right in the historical district. It itself used to be where pirates would store their like booty hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And it's just a killer bar with great music. And again, all the old beams and all the like stones that it was built with were brought over from France, or they're from fortresses up north. And it's a really cool spot.
That's super sweet.
So when I go to Canada, because these two can't, you'll have to show me the place.
This guy.
I'd love to. I'd love to, yeah.
If you went to Canada without me, I'd beat your ass.
You can't go!
Yeah, so
I'm not going to smuggle you into Canada.
You could just wait till maybe I can be like, hey, can I come in? And they'll be like, yeah, you've done your time.
Does it drop?
I don't know. We'll see.
You got to do some research, because if you don't do it fast enough, me and Rob are about to go have a great time, and I'm about to go see if those pirates shit's there. I love pirates, so as soon as you said pirates, I was a fucking sell.
We're going on a pub crawl, with or without you.
Oh man!
And he goes, no.
All right, Cody Ray, what you got? No, please.
She wasn't ready.
You wasn't ready.
All right, Skylar asks, you also kind of did touch on this. Do you keep in touch with anybody from the cast of Blue Mountain States? And if you had to suggest someone to come on to the show, like who would you suggest that we try to reach out to?
Pretty much everyone, man. We're all still, it's one of those rare shows where everyone really just hit it off right away, and everyone was super, super close. And I still talk to Omari all the time, who is Larry. I talk to James. I talk to Alan quite often. He and I are very close. Alan was at my wedding out in Nova Scotia.
Hell yeah.
And he's been spending a lot of time here in Toronto too. They just finished. He's who you should try and get on the show next. He's in that new show Reacher. He plays Jack Reacher.
He's got
an Amazon original. Man, that show's great, and I know they just got renewed for a second season, so he's coming back up to Toronto later this fall, and they're going to shoot that. And yeah, we chat all the time.
I love it. I love that.
Who would you? What was it? Suggest something about?
Like if us trying to reach out to get him on here. He said anyone.
Yeah, get Alan on the show.
Oh,
Do you think Alan would be a good role for this one?
Sure.
Could we get Thad on this show?
I don't know. I think Thad might be retired.
He's a
I actually did have a question for you.
Could we get Alan or could we get Thad?
Yeah, I think Thad is no longer with us. But you might be able to get Alan. Yeah.
What about Kevin? Because his real name is actually Kevin. You didn't know
in the
that.
show.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I'm telling you, I literally lived this damn show. Y'all fucked me up, all right?
Cody Ray, what was your question?
How was it living with him? Was it anywhere like near what it was like in the show, or like you said, it was pretty exaggerated, or did he have any of the characteristics that he was like crazy kind of on the show, or was he pretty chill and mellow? Like
No, not at all. He's married. He and his wife now have a few kids, and he's the most exaggerated. He's the most unlike his character. He's just a really, really, really good actor.
Oh,
I love that. Yeah,
because his yell and his get out shit was yeah.
It was a really extreme character to play, so that is kind of cool that he could like switch back and forth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was definitely I guess now that I'm an adult, I can look at him and be like, it's really over exaggerated. But like somebody that's like the middle linebacker, or whatever, the big stud, #1 draft pick, to be that kind of dude outside for like screaming like a 13-year-old girl at sometimes, like every time he's at a party, like kind of sounds about right.
For sure.
What else is on the agenda, good sir?
Just last, we got to tap the conversation keg. That's where I throw out a conversation, a topic. I'll tap the keg, and then Travis, Nick, and then now Rob will let the conversation pour. The conversation is about the goat house.
Oh, the goat house.
How was the set of that? So I know that on TV shows they like have like the wall and it's all fucking fake and all this and that. Was that an actual house? Was the goat house an actual place you guys set up?
So season 1 was an actual house. It was an abandoned building on in Montreal. They had this thing called, I guess it's all in Quebec. They had a thing called Cégep, which is like, it's like high school, but it's like pre-high school, but it's like these giant campuses. Like it looks like a university. Anyways, it was this abandoned building on this campus, and then for season 2 and 3, they built the house inside a soundstage. So it was like a full house that literally inside another giant warehouse.
Nice.
So that was a spectacle to see.
How was the, I know that there was a set. Of course, you guys probably went out to your trailers and everything like that. But season 1, did you guys, like, spend time in there? Was there actually a party at the Goat House without being on set? Did you guys have fun like that? Or was it one of those things where, like, you wanted to get away from the job and you guys went and did your own thing outside of that?
Not that we wanted to get away from the set. There was still a lot of hanging out, but it was like, okay, well, let's go to downtown Montreal and go to a restaurant.
Yeah, you guys didn't want to part. You guys didn't want to do the same thing you guys were portraying to do on the set. You guys wanted to like actually be people and go off the set to go do the same thing you were doing, but in real life.
Yeah, I don't know. There was an active decision like that. It was just like, okay, well, the day's done. So Montreal is one of the greatest cities in the world and has some of the best restaurants in the world. So let's go take this party to a restaurant. Right.
Oh. That's all. No, it's funny because the Goat House really, of course, as anybody could tell with the whole episode, BMS pretty much formed me as a damn teenager as it was.
Right.
We actually had parties at my buddy's house. We didn't have a house, clearly. We were in freaking high school. But my buddy's parents had a barn, and for homecoming, for prom, we were setting it up. We'd have a couple parties in there and it'd be whatever. But for prom, we were like, we're decking this whole place out. What can we do? So we got a huge sign. We put it up in there, and it was the Goat Barn. Instead of the Goat House, we put it as the Goat Barn. It was an absolute rager. It was a BMS rager, most certainly. There was topless girls and everything else. It was an absolute madness. That's what it was. And we kept it that way. And we kept going that way for a little while. of just parties at the goat barn until, of course, his parents realized what we were doing in this barn. And we're like, yeah, you can't do that.
That's great. When I was in university, we used to have this thing called. I had some buddies who had a house and it had this giant deck, and the deck was like jutted out over this big hill, and it had this beautiful view, and we used to call it the deck to nowhere, because you'd just get like 30, 40 people out there, and you would just get obliterated, and just the night would disappear, and the next thing you knew, the sun was coming up.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. So, what's your degree in?
Acting. Yeah,
Acting.
theater studies.
He said, duh.
I'm dumb.
Didn't think about that one.
Fish brain.
Is that something that you've always wanted to do growing up, or is it something that you kind of found yourself getting into and then you like really enjoyed it, so you made more out of it?
Something I sort of fell into. I think I had always wanted to be a teacher, and then started doing some community theater when I was younger and loved it, and getting bigger and bigger roles. And I thought, I think I can do this professionally, and started getting some acting coaches, and then got an agent, and went from there.
I love that.
That's awesome.
That's so fun.
I love it.
Is there anything left on the agenda, Cody Ray?
No, just were you there?
Awesome. All right. We're going to round off our questions real quick. If we have anything from ourselves, on to Rob, a.k.a. Donnie, from Blue Mountain State. Is there any other questions that you have from Blue Mountain State that needs addressed immediately? And then if we forget any, if Alan wants to come on, we can maybe ask him. But I'm sure he'd like to talk about his new TV show a little more than back old Thad.
Right. I guess this isn't a BMS question, but now that you're older, like, what are some hobbies you like to do now?
What are some what, sorry?
Some hobbies you like to do now, like when you're not working and stuff, like your way to unwind.
Yeah, I hobbies have sort of taken a back seat with a young kid. There's not a lot of time for hobbies anymore, but
Sounds about right, yeah.
But I also just love I love hanging out with my kid, and that's a blast. I'm watching him grow and run around, and I guess if I'm not doing that, I love to watch movies. Love to watch. I'm a big HGTV guy. My wife and I love HGTV.
Yes.
So I'm always watching some home reno shows, mostly because we don't have time to. Yeah, we don't have time. We're always so exhausted at night. We don't have time to invest in like an hour-long drama. So we're like, let's watch fucking House Hunters International for the
Hell yeah.
I love it.
Let's watch
That's
Property
awesome.
Brothers. Let's watch Property Bros.
Yeah, man. Some good old Canadian boys, too.
Yes, sir.
Some good old Canadian boys.
Oh, man.
You have any more for him?
No, I don't think I have any more.
Cody Ray, do you have any questions for Rob? He's thinking.
I don't have any questions related to Blue Mountain State.
Oh, yeah. Any questions in general?
Yeah.
Do you have anything, like, I don't know, just give us some inspiration as young people, like, getting started, kind of like you were. What do you have? Like, just inspire us. Give us some inspiration.
Yeah.
Inspirational
Rob.
words.
Yeah. Rob, God damn it. Inspire us right now. What do you got?
There's a reason I sit in the corner and not on the camera.
I feel like you're in trouble if you're coming to me for inspiration. But I've said this before, but one of my favorite quotes is measure once, cut twice, which obviously goes against the standard quote.
That's funny.
Just fucking give her. Just wing it.
I
Whatever.
love
There's
that.
always another. There's
That's
always
funny.
another hardware store around the corner that you can go buy another 2 for. Just get after it.
I like that.
That's
I
fun.
like that.
I really like
I
that
do
one.
like that.
God, now I don't even know if I want to ask a question because that quote was so good.
Raise hell, praise Dale.
Measure once, cut twice. That was good. If I had to ask anything, it would be one thing that I had earlier. With all the roles that you shot, how many roles have you tried to go for as an actor? Like, what is the underlying realm that people don't understand as being an actor? Because some people just think that they just, like, boom, you're in. How many roles have you actually shot for, and how fucking hard is it actually to be an actor? Because some people just think they have it. Like, some people think they can come up on a mic and in front of the camera and just can do this. Like, how how hard is it to be like living in LA, for example, when you go out there? Like, is there a lot of Robs out there, or is there one Rob? Is there a lot of people trying to fulfill their acting goal, and there's like 100 people at the line?
Yeah, so I mean, I remember before going down, you'd go into a room here in Toronto, and there'd be or Vancouver or even New York, and there's 3 or 4 guys who look like you, and then you go to LA and there's like 30, and it's like, oh shit,
Holy shit.
I am a small fish in a big pond. But yeah, man, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of rejection. It takes a lot of work, whether it be acting classes or just like actively engaging and observing people and being aware of things. I certainly don't look like a Romeo, a leading man. So I'm going out for a lot of big parts.
I'm telling you, this guy looks like a fucking stallion. All right.
I know. I love his hair, bro.
I appreciate it.
That hair.
I appreciate it.
I want to see you in the next movie that I watched, Finding the Loved One, all right?
I would love that. Hey, man, when you're pitching Netflix, bring that up to them.
He wants us to pitch so much tonight. He goes, listen, just go there and pitch it.
We got 2 pitches now for him.
What, you got a number for us? That
Yeah.
we can reach
You got to give us some sort of lead here. We can't just leave here and be
sure
like, all right, who wants to do this?
Oh, man.
It's out there somewhere. I'm sure you can Google it.
Hey, if we make a movie, we're gonna get.
But yeah, there's just a lot of auditioning, a lot of. I think if you're getting 1 in 20 auditions, I think you're doing pretty good. And I've been, fortunate enough to get a lot of them. So I think that's sort of a sign of the work put into it. So
it seems as if all the hard work is done pretty good for you yourself with Blue Mountain State, it being a part of it and everything else. Honestly, I just want to thank you very much for taking your time to be a part of this.
Thank you so much.
It's really been just fucking awesome to have a conversation with you and talk Blue Mountain State, facts or fiction, all that fun jazz. And hopefully maybe we can get your pals on here and everybody else can go crazy with a whole Blue Mountain State extravaganza. Maybe we can have the whole damn Blue Mountain State cast in this thing.
Right.
That would be awesome.
Love it.
Plug what you got going on in your life right now.
Yeah.
Plug everything in that you want the people to know or where they can find you.
Yeah, where can they find you on social media, and what are you doing where they can find you? And of course, Canada has some regulations. We can't watch pub crawl, but if you can find it. But yeah, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Real Rob Ramsay. I don't fuck with the Twitter or Facebook anymore, but Instagram where it's at. And you can see me in pub crawl if you are a Canadian, if you're in Canada, or if you can get across the border.
Okay.
And
we got
other
it,
than
Rob.
that, other than that, I'm always around. I feel like there's a lot of times people just turn on the TV and they're like, "Oh, I saw you in this thing." But yeah, I'm around. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.
It's been a treat.
I got a quick question because you just said you're always around. How many times do you go around and people just call you Donnie? Is that still a thing that happens today?
I don't blend in, man. I'm a big guy, right? I'm like 6'4". To say I am large is an understatement.
You're
so
a
I don't blend
unit,
in.
know. You're a handsome unit.
But I mean, it speaks to the show. It's like I've literally been in Johannesburg, South Africa, walking down the street, and someone came up to me and was like, "Hey, I'm a huge fan of the show." So it's crazy the reach the show has. But
that's so fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's so sweet.
Thank you for coming on again.
Yes, thank you for taking the time out of your night just to come and just drink some beers and shoot the shit with us.
Yes, Boogered Up and Boogered Up fans definitely appreciate you. And we enjoy it.
My pleasure.
Cody Ray, do you have anything left for the people?
No, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for having us all. Stay safe.
Hell yeah.
Rob, you got anything for the people?
I was going to let Rob finish off the show.
He's just like, peace.
Rob's like, I'm trying to go.
Go Goats.
Go Goats. Yeah.
Oh, that's what you got? Go Goats? Fuck yeah.
All right.
I'm going to take my girlfriend to get bejazzled.
Bejazzled.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Bejazzled. Learn that one from you guys, too. Jesus Christ. That was not appropriate.
I love it. I don't care.
Yeah, Rob, appreciate you for joining on. And we will maybe catch you next time. Maybe next time we get another interview with some fun stuff.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
all
all right,
right.
sweet.
Thank you very much. We'll catch you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.